The first siege is behind us, and after a rather impressive result of our clan, which I will talk about in a separate video, I want to offer you a tool that helped us quickly and efficiently coordinate our actions, as well as plan our next steps during the siege. Greetings, dear gentlemen. Sun is with you, and today we will analyze the Siege Manager, my own solution for this entire process and the issues that arise during it. I will add link to it in the description of this video so you can easily find this doc when necessary. I'll start with a brief intro. I'm Ukrainian free-to-play YouTube blogger on RaidShadowLegends. Despite my love for Google Sheets, I try to explain complex processes with the simple examples, and hopefully that will help you save some time, nerves, and possibly friendly relations within the clan. So, let's go! First of all, to use the document, click File and make a copy. Choose where to copy the document and use it according to your needs. Now, about the filling. Let's start with the fact that the document is semi-automatic. There are certain data that you need to enter in it, but it will handle most of the routine processes by itself. Let's start with the fact that at this moment it has 4 different tabs: Data, Defense, Attack, and Shrines. Let's start with the most manual part of data. In this section, you need to fill the names of the players in your clan in a format convenient for you. Later, the document will pull them into all the necessary lists. Regarding the adjacent communication column, we used it for data on how to contact a person through messengers or social networks, so I leave this field to your discretion because the different clans have different communication channels. In addition, I left a column for notes. For example, does the person have certain restrictions on communication or playing hours, so as not to ask 100 times, will player X come in today? It is very convenient in this format to simply have a link to a document that already contains this information. The second table, Locations, is created in order to understand which buildings are already occupied and which still need to be protected. To do this, if the number of set teams is less than the maximum number of teams, we will see the corresponding field highlighted in red. We will see how it will be changed in the next chapter, Defense. Additional information on the cost of the buildings, in order to better orientate on which of them to pay attention to, first of all. Because unfortunately, not all members of the clan understand enough about which of the towers is still more important. The last part of the table is for easier management of posts and their conditions, but this is at your discretion if your clan likes micromanagement as much as I like it. Defense tab. The lion's share of the work with the defense tab was done by you at the previous stage. Here you only need to choose which of the players enter which slot. For example, someone takes post 1, let's say post 5, and let's say like stronghold. As you can already see, the player that placed all his teams already changed his colors, so deputies could easily see which of the players still need to fill his teams. And if we're going back to the data tab, we see that posts are filled and we have one less team to set up in the stronghold. Additionally, if you play with the localization other than English, you can change the names at the data in the locations, and it will automatically fill the lists for the placing, and it will also fill in the list for attacks as well. But unfortunately, you will have to add the color fill yourself, like green one, the dark green one, and etc. It will not be a part of this change. In addition of the display of commands, there is also highlighting, as I mentioned, for deputies, and for our clan it was important, the chat reaction thing, so either player responding to chats or no, you could also mark it there. and additionally some command fields, like for example for rearranging some teams or making adjustment to the ones that players have put at some post or some building. The second part of the table has no automation at all and is created only so that you can track the most difficult teams of your opponents, which for example you have already seen in the defense. To do this, select the field opposite the name of the player and, for example, change it to how many attacks he's left. So you could see that, for example, he used like 2 different attacks without rolling, and opponent 1 has only 1 attack left, and if we are setting it to 0, we would see the highlighting that opponent 1 is no longer able to attack. So far we could ignore like pretty much all of the possibilities that he could bring to our fights. It is very similar to the protection tab, like an attack tab, but has a number of differences. Let's start with the already familiar stuff. There is a list of names that have been pulled automatically and a list of locations, which is also unchanged. However, what has changed? First of all, players who have not fought any fights yet have been highlighted by a light blue color. Second, the attack roll data is calculated automatically. However, only for attack scrolls, not for reroll scrolls. Reroll scrolls still need to be put manually, because it's pretty hard to predict. Like for example, some guys may reroll 3 times in one battle, other ones may not reroll even once. Other example, someone's rerolls 3 times in the 3 separate battles, and it's not very convenient for this type of the table to automate it. So it's better to put in manually. Thirdly, the table on the right, in which the list of all locations is presented, is gradually filled according to your battles and victories. For example, we see that we put the player 1 fought in post 2, and by default we think that all our battles are victories. And if it's not so, we would put our losses in the respectable column in this tab. For example, we have here 2 different players. For example, player 3 fought 2 times in the defense tower 1, and the second one was loss, so we mention it here. It doesn't matter really, does he use any kind of rerolls on that. So for example, he could lose 1 battle, then reroll and lose the second battle, and it pretty much doesn't care for us. Like for the second loss, we count a loss only as a loss per player, not per scroll, if you understand what I mean. If no, I could like additionally explain it separately. So for example, I will give an example for Outpost 2. There are fights between 2 players of our clan. The first spent an attack and, for example, a reroll. Yep. And defeated it. In that case, we would not count any losses, because the final result is a win. So we successfully destroyed that location and we could proceed further. However, once again, for a better understanding, in addition to locations, only reroll scrolls and defeats in a specific conditions are entered manually, and it is not the number of lost matches that is important, but the number of lost players, and the rest will be calculated automatically. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. The last step in the siege is the farming of the shrines. In short, after both shrines are destroyed, 12 battles can be repeated in it by each member of the clan. The interface of the game is not only small and buggy, but also not very convenient in this matter, so I offer a separate solution. According to the results of the battle, the player or the person responsible for the dog enters yes in the fields where he fought in the shrines. Based on the result of this, you will have a map of who missed which fights and who is the best fighter ever and hit all 12 times. At the same time, the general results in a more convenient format are available in the summary next to it. So, a player who has already finished his battles is also marked with a color. For example, how does it look? So let's say player 1 hit like 4 battles and player 13 hit like, let's speed things up, like all battles. It partially breaks the table, but it's still pretty convenient for our demonstration. So in the summary we have that player 1 fought 4 battles and player 13 has done all of his battles and could be like the best player ever. It could be rewarded with some additional compliments, etc. Also, you could use like the total number of the battles to compare it to the one in the shrines tab, not the tab in the shrines interface itself, but you must remember that the number of the battles in shrine are number of farming battles plus 1, because the first battle would already be the opening one. So just keep it in mind. That's all for now. Thank you for watching this far, and I hope the tool will be useful for you, so I'm waiting for your feedback. Sun out!